Hi, it's me, Dora V here, and today I will be dealing with the final suit, which is actually my first in the spiral staircase, well, for Dora V that is, and that's word in a game. But first, how are we doing? 9%, that is satisfactory. Oh yeah, Sarah's on top, finally found the right suit. Dora's about 9%, so Proyas should be about top 15%, and I think right now that's satisfactory. Whew, I had a hard time with that theme. So anyway, let's see what we got. And honestly, world in a game is actually my favorite, to be honest, because it looks so cool. And I've used it in Tarot quite a bit. That and Night Banquet. So, world in a game. Let's just start with this one. Let's see what we got. Chained by stale yolk, or like egg yolk, the once noble beast is struggling. It's better to break it before falling into abyss. Well, no shit. Next. Few people can match Zhu Yuxian. Oh, I'd buy that. The way he plays seems casual, but every move is like a deadly knife. Sounds about right. Next. If elements can be summoned at will, why would one deign to defer to someone else? Well, I don't know what the hell you're trying to say there. I guess, like, because it's more than just power, though. Like, I mean, being powerful doesn't make you all that bright. Or doesn't mean you know everything either. So, anyway. Manipulating people is like strategically setting up a chessboard. Lay traps and lure enemies before killing them. Yeah, very true. Next. Across the chessboard, black and white clash. But to compare the world to a game, it's much more complicated. Well, no shit. Next. See, he's heard helpless cries and seen desperate struggles. The ancient behemoth falls and fire soars in the night. The fingertips plucked songs of sorrow and quietude, but they also called forth calamities that wreaked havoc. That's one hell of a bard. See, what else? A normal checkmate is only confined to the chessboard, but what he lays down will plunge the whole world into the abyss. Zhu Yuxian or someone else? Anyway, a bird was born from fire. With insatiable taste, it kept devouring itself and eventually became fire itself. Oh, so that's how fire existed in your world? Well, according to Greek myth, it was Prometheus who gave the gift of fire. Well, anyway, whether he is after reincarnation or destruction, only his end will tell. He had hopes in the past, but now that country is collapsing, rebuilding is the only way out. Yeah, it came out wrong, but yeah, like no kidding, as opposed to what, but anyway. Looking back, the suffering continues, but his body has been covered with blood and dust. And the sudden revolt is deemed as treachery, but King Zhu's followers believe he is making the right move in the... I wish they would find a way to get these lore cards completed instead of just cutting them off, but anyway, next. Let's see. When the first piece is put down, the unstoppable avalanche has already started. Chaos is blades, blood is fuel, and hearts are pieces. Only seeing through the darkness can one win this game. Yeah. Like, staring at the abyss is staring back. Oh, I've heard that about 1,000,000 times. After the dragon is killed, the warrior may be the dragon himself. That's very Nietzschean right there, and Berserk has a similar theme. Anyway, the tune continues, but the player is no longer the same. The fire burns out the past, and it's spreading. Okay. And then, alright. That's word in a game. I've used it for Tarot the World because it should be obvious why. And the dress is amazing too, by the way. It's just really awesome with the other pieces. Anyway, here we are. Hello. Look at that. The world. Woohoo. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, yeah. I really should have put do not disturb, and I did not do that. I am very bad. So more drama, is it? Oh man, it's been a super lively day today without the drama. God, I love watching drama on YouTube. So anyway, the chariot is galloping in the vast wilderness. Greenery gradually disappears. The desolate desert takes its place. In the carriage, the temperature is comfortable, and there is a mild incense unique to the south in the air. Oh man, I love incense. Anyway, Zhu Yuxian half reclines on the seat comfortably, something in his hand glistening. Okay, right, I'm sure it's something completely innocent. It's a half jade pendant, cross-section clean, quaint, and smooth. I'm actually wearing a jade pendant right now, in fact. Anyway, Father! Father! A toddler runs towards the door and is then picked up by a young elite in a red robe. Good boy, weren't you told to wait in the room? Back then, the Lord of the South was at his prime age. His little son, who grew up among various treasures, already learned a lot about precious stones. Father once said with a smile, "My son is the vermilion bird." Anyone could tell how much he loved his son. Aww. And on that day, his father put him on his lap, took out this half-jade ornament with extreme care, and placed it in his son's little palm. The child examined it for a second, and then lost interest. Common color, common texture. Although it's kind of ancient, it's not even complete. Father, there are so many precious relics and treasures at home. What's so special about this half-jade pendant? Oh, sentiment. Yeah. His father laughed, put his hand on his son's shoulder, and said quietly, "This is the token between our ancestor and the first emperor. The half-jade is half of our country. My vermilion bird, remember, the prosperity of Cloud is not just the prosperity of the royal family." True. It's half built on the blood and sweat of the Jews. The Jews, right? Did I say that right? It's pronounced Jew? So that's okay. Today, the south part of the empire has yet to be fully secured. You need to work hard and help the king defend Cloud's peace in the future. The child was perplexed, but nodded. His father smiled and instructed him to keep the jade pendant carefully. Father's words were not unfounded. Then, there were 13 cities that defied the authority of the empire and kept harassing the southern border. But in a few years, Father led the army he trained personally and reclaimed the 13 rebel cities. An era of peace was ushered in. How wonderful and carefree the time was then. I don't doubt that. Zhu Yuxian looks out the window. It has started snowing, blurring the view afar. It was a snowy day, too. Frost had found its way to the temples of Father after years of campaigning, but he still looked energetic in his feathered cloak. Next to him, Mother was dressed in a similar fashion. The two stood side by side in perfect harmony. "We will be back before the new year, Yuxian. Don't forget your schoolwork when we are away." He agreed sincerely, but was secretly ecstatic that he would be able to play as much as he wanted. Who would know that it turned out to be the last time he saw his parents? Oh, this half-jade pendant was presented to him along with the pale white silk that symbolized death. Things, well, I guess in Japan it would be, but in China it's mourning. It has multiple meanings in China, but yeah, if you wear too much of it, it's mourning, if I recall correctly. But anyway, things went all messed up. He was quickly put on the seat of the clan's lord, but there were problems everywhere. The 13 cities were restless again, and the other nobilities were coveting the clan's leadership in the south. He would frequently startle awake in the middle of the night. When he inspected this jade, he often felt there is green blood on it, which he could never wash off. With the cause of death of his parents unknown and the south situation perilous, the young King Zhu hovered his wings and let out a clear cry. He played pieces, collected clues, and laid traps, yet eventually he found himself an extremely sarcastic answer. If only Father knew the Emperor he pledged his allegiance to his whole life began to fear him for the unprecedentedly prosperous south. The blood on the jade is real. No, maybe the king is just a face. What really killed Father was his decaying, collapsing empire. Zhu Yuxian puts the jade pendant to his forehead. A chill runs down into his heart. A servant stops the chariot and opens a door for his master. A bracing breeze blows into the warm carriage. His mind has never been so sober and clear before. He puts the jade pendant back into his sleeve and gets off the chariot elegantly. The respectful servant puts his feathered cloak and hat on him to protect him from the snow. Master, the snowstorm is raging. Please, watch your step. It's fine. Zhu Yuxian moves the curtain aside and laughs. The climate of the north is so much different from that of the south. Such strength. Then he strides toward the military camp and ahead, which is guarded by the soldiers in the sharp uniform of League Tier. Okay. I wonder what he's doing there. He's dealing probably with Nidhogg, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, it was strength, huh? Yeah, it is. It's cold, that's what's strong. So yeah, he obviously, he joins up with League Tier, and hooray. Well, given what's happened, I imagine I can see why. I mean, if you look at the Dreamweaver, like, you can kind of see it there, too. I guess I could show Byung-Shi's Dreamweaver sometime. Anyway, as for Zhu Yuxian, like, he's kind of like a Reed. Like, I do like him just fine, but he's yet to really be elevated to, like, favored status. Like, actually, to be honest, very few characters are in that status. Like, there's just not many at all, to be honest. But yeah, like, I guess he feels like this is it. Like, this will create the change that he wants. Yeah, and this is like the only way to do it. So I certainly would love to see more dialogue between him and Nidhogg, because I know that he was a waiter in Lilith, and that he was what the hell else? He was intercepting intelligence, which led to Lunar's death, so he was definitely part of that. But I've yet to see any dialogue between Yuxian and Nidhogg. So, like, right now, like, if there's any shipping with the two, like, there really isn't much that I could work with, you know, that's just me, though. Like, if you're concerned about that, if not, don't worry about it. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is an awesome suit. I absolutely love it. Like, for real. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic background. The pieces are amazing. I do like them. Beyond that, there's really nothing more to say. So I'm gonna go bye-bye now. Hello there. See you later. Goodbye.